This is Joseph Robert Jobe, Assistant Editor with VisionsMagazineOnline.com. We're in a graveyard here today for a subject that was very important to Visions Magazine from the get-go, which was Ouija boards. It was one of the very first articles Tara and I outlined. It was in the progress of just starting to get out the gate, and I had the opportunity to go out on a ghost hunt in a graveyard with a Pittsburgh paranormal team. I brought up the subject of Ouija boards. The leader of the team had a spiritual background. There was a medium, a psychic with the team, both of which convinced me utterly, don't even consider it, don't do it, don't do the article, don't play with it. With John Zaffis' background of 36 years as a demonologist, I thought this was an excellent question to pose to John, to see if Ouija boards are basically a gateway to bring in spirits. What his confirmed research over his long history was, what conclusions he came up with, and his answer was pretty honest, direct, and ridiculously interesting. Hope you enjoy.
The next question is something that is of very personal interest to me, because when we started VisionsMagazineOnline.com 2 years ago, people warned me not to do this article, not to pursue it. So I'm just going to hit you with a question. Can you describe any and all experiences in your history of investigations regarding the use of Ouija boards to open doorways to other realms? Good idea, bad idea?
I'm very guarded. It's the best way I can describe this to you. In all fairness, the Ouija is a board. It's used as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people set it up, they get around it, they use the planchette, they move it around. You know, doors are being opened for communication for the spirit world. And some people bring spirit in. I've heard of people that have used Ouija. They've never had a negative experience whatsoever.
Right.
But I deal with the people that end up having a very bad problem, you know, with bringing in negative spirits or bringing in things that end up harassing them.
And it's just as simple as having a wooden board, talking aloud, and putting your fingers on the planchette. You can contact another realm of this universe. It's that easy.
It's extremely easy, but always remember one thing: it's not the Ouija board; it's the people that use it. We are the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it, but I'm saying we're the ones that are, you know, people are establishing the communication with the spirit world.
Right.
Therefore, you're granting them permission to enter your life once you start doing that.
Reason I asked, I remember the interview that was done regarding your museum, and prominently behind you was this beautiful old wooden Ouija board that you had collected, along the years.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's many of them. I have many Ouijas.
Let me ask you this, and no pun intended. Let me play devil's advocate here. You know,
sure.
You watch the TV. You know, would today's use of the K2 meter, which I'm sure you're very familiar with.
Yes, I am.
We own one here, which I basically, have thrown questions out. Those lights are responding. No ifs, ands, or buts. You ask a question, make the lights move. They're moving. Is the K2 a modern Ouija board? Is it not doing the same thing?
Okay. The way I look at this, and I'd like to cover a couple of topics here. With our equipment, now with the K2 meter, what astounded me one evening was people put down 4 of them.
Right.
And all 4 of these K2 meters were reacting to some of the questions that the people were asking.
Mm-hmm.
So here again, going from an engineer perspective, I'm looking at this, how can this be?
Right.
So, I try to keep an open mind with all of the different pieces of equipment that we have out there. Some of our most controversial things that have been achieved within the paranormal realm, has been very controversial. So I tell everybody, keep an open mind.
Right.
And look outside your box when we deal with any types of communication, any type of these different types of devices that are out there where, spirit communication or information is coming through. I don't necessarily say trust everything. No. I mean, we have to use common sense.
Right.
But feel we need to keep an open mind when trying to learn about these different things that are coming about that are intriguing all of us with spirit communication.
Well, it's basically the same thing. Like I said, you're asking a question of the Ouija board, you're funneling the energy. You do the same thing with a K2 meter in a room, you leave it alone, if the lights go off, it's still the same energy. You're just scientifically maybe picking it up, with the electromagnetic spectrum that it's picking up on.
Yeah, but what's intriguing about that is the Ouija board you're actually touching.
Mm-hmm.
The K2 meters, the ones with the switches on, you're putting them down on the floor and they're responding and you're not touching them.
Right.
So, here again, how do we interpret some of that?
It's still an open book, that's for darn sure,
Now, this is what I'm saying. And to me, the first and most important thing I want to know, and I want the answers like the rest of the world out there. We want answers to the spirit world. Mm-hmm. We want to know what is happening out there. Why are these things happening? Why are they so prominent? We're getting closer, and we're getting more documentation than we ever have within our field.
What do you think we're going to find out? That spirits, the energy is still here in this realm, or what's your best guess of what the answer is? Let me ask you that. Just go out on a limb. What's your hypothesis? What are we really investigating here? What are we going to find?
Well,
I know it's a big question to ask.
I wish I could answer that one for you, but I think what the key factor is, what I can say from being involved with this for 36 years, is that there's so much we don't understand. There is definitely spirits out there. There is definitely energy with intelligence. There's things that occur. There are things that happen that we're all trying to figure out. Is my best honest answer that I could give to you.
And that's what I like. After 36 years, you're still scratching your head with the same thing. It's like we ain't got it yet.
36 years into this work, do you know I've got more questions now than when I started?